Welcome back. So the coalition has been the buzzword in the last week plus, particularly since the adoption of the African Democratic Congress as the party with which it would field the 2027 ambition to unseat President Bola Tinubu. Of course, that's the main objective of the coalition at this particular point in time. But it begins to take shape with the unveiling of the direction of interests of key actors in the coalition, stemming from the interview with Mr. Peter Obi yesterday, granted on our sister political program, Politics Today. Of course, there'll be more in the coming days. So let's try to understand this and ask the probing questions that affect you ahead of 2027. And joining us this morning on the program is, let's start with Mr. Tanko. Of course, Unisa Tanko is the National Coordinator, Obedient Movement Worldwide. Mr. Tanko joins us from our Kano studio. We'll also be having to join us later Mr. Bishop Amakri, YPP National Chairman, who'll be joining us shortly. But let's start with Mr. Tanko. Mr. Tanko, thank you so much for coming through on the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes, indeed. Good morning, sir. So yesterday, Mr. Peter Obi did disclose that he remains a member of the Labour Party, and he says that's not tantamount in his own views to anti-party activity, but that the coalition is still, taking shape gradually, not quoting him copiously now. So what is the plan? In the coming days, will he eventually defect to the ADC when things take shape? And how will that affect the Labour Party?
Well, right from the beginning, it was very clear that this coalition was that of individuals, principal actors in the politics of Nigeria, those who feel that Nigeria is drifting to a state of anarchy, hunger, disdain, disrespect, and the destruction of our democracy. These key issues become a subject of issue to most of these principal actors. And they started discussing that, look, we cannot allow Nigeria to continue to drift in this manner. We need to find a solution. We need to agree and discuss. And that was how the concept of a coalition was conceived. And I remember with nostalgia, my principal, His Excellency Peter Obi, would continue to say this with a lot of emotion, that this country is dying. Nigerians are hungry. People cannot move from point A to point B. Education situation has gone beyond your own expectation. We are not viewed as respected nation in the Committee of Nations. These are his key words. How do we pull people out of poverty? How do you make them more, industrious? Shifting this idea from consumption to production.
Mr. Tanko. Before we begin to talk about the ideas, let's look at the appropriateness of where or the platforms that will be used. Will Mr. Peter Obi be defecting, or is he holding on to the Labour Party in case interests fail with the ADC when it is time to determine who will fly the party's ticket?
It's critical for us to give you a background so that even any discussion that would take place would take a cue from that particular background. And the issues are these areas that I mentioned. So now a vehicle has been identified and unveiled. It is very important for those gladiators to do a cleanup from their own political party, because the issues have not been with the political parties. It has also always been an individual discussion yet. Now that the vehicle has been unveiled, the individuals will go back and make their cleanup and decide on where to go to and how do we go and how do we achieve our collective objective. And that is the reason why His Excellency Peter Obi still remain in the Labour Party. Remember, there are other elections coming, and he doesn't want to be seen as an individual who is also only interested in his own political interests. What about the others that are with him? Remember, there are people who went into the political party because of him, and they are contesting elections. So those people must be protected. And as a Democrat and somebody that believes and cares about his own people, he must clean up those particular situations before the next decision is made. So the issue of moving from one party to another will be discussed after he has done his cleanup and is sure of how he has protected the interests of his followers.
And you know, the question about whether this is a one leg in, one leg out situation is important, because at the registration of political party level with INEC, we see some parties named Progressive Obedient Movement, Obedient Youth Movement. Does Mr. Peter Obi by any chance have any affiliations with this party? Are these SPVs in case the pressure from the Labour Party becomes too much?
The Obedient Movement is one, and the person that we are projecting is Peter Obi. As far as you are working for Peter Obi and you are promoting his candidature, you are with us. The only deviation is when you are promoting another candidate who is not Peter Obi. Peter Obi is our leader, and we follow him wholeheartedly. So anybody that is doing any program that is in the interest of Peter Obi is only one interest. And that's why you saw the last time we had a program, we had even support groups going into their thousands, and we were able to give them a certificate of collaboration. So it is in that light that we are going as a team. So, but everybody can be doing his own team, but the interest is one.
All right, Mr. Tanko, let's expand the conversation. Let's bring in Mr. Bishop Makri, who is the national chairman of the YPP. He joins us from Abuja studio. Mr. Makri, thank you so much for coming on the program. I do not know where you stand on the issue of coalition, so let's begin with a basic understanding of where the YPP stands. Is there an intention to join the coalition, or you're going to stand alone for as long as it lasts, and why? If you're not joining the coalition, how do you want to make an impression in the elections coming?
Yeah, thank you, Geoffrey. It's nice to see you here again. Well, it's a very important question you've asked, but very importantly, I think we need to also anchor our conversation from a more pragmatic point of view. This is not about even YPP now. Let me speak for myself as an individual. Coalition, I've been hearing people talking about coalition, and I also stand with those who believe that within the fundamental right of people, they have the right to assemble themselves, even in a beer parlor, and discuss about issues that, you know, represent their own aims or goals, you know. But however, one fundamental thing that we must ask is, in this context now of this coalition, you know, coalition can be political, it can be social, you know, it can also be military, because we have seen nations who are threatened, and then, you know, other countries want to come together and see how they can push back that threat. So civil society groups also have their right, you know, to sit down somewhere and discuss about how they want to advocate for good governance in the country, you know. But in this context now, is politics. And you have asked me a question, whether what's my position about this coalition. Like I said, I've been issued without prejudice to anyone's right. But I have a problem. Now, what is my own problem now is whether if the people, 85% of people in that coalition, whether they have the moral justification to tell us about a coalition that will actually liberate Nigerian people out of this political leadership quagmire that we find ourselves. Nigeria is in a dire need of what I would call political, it's in an emergency need, for a political party, political leadership, substitution. And who are the people that are supposed to do this thing? I think, for me, if you ask me, I will tell you, I want to see the likes of even the Yunus Atanko that I'm seeing there, and some other likes of, there are so many names you can mention, young people, who should have been the power drivers of whatever coalition that I think, will look like a more serious coalition. But you can have, a gathering of over 85% persons who have been given opportunity to lead this country before, and as we speak, where have they taken the country to? Abysmal failure. And then these people are coming back again to tell you about a coalition. The same thing they did 2015 when they just wanted to kick out a president that was doing very okay. We've had people in this country threatened that we will make your government ungovernable. We will have people threatening in this country that bodies that will be body bags that will leave this country. It's also person. So you see, is it the kind of land, the people you want to see in a coalition? People who have threatened, the sovereignty of a nation, and they are coming today to tell you that they want to coalesce to do what? These are people I will call the PPM. They have nothing to offer.
Mr. Makary,
I'm telling you,
what does
these are political power mongers. These are political power mongers who just want to come and advance the cause of how they can grab power to their own, advantage.
Well, Mr. Makary,
we're talking about good governance, not power grab.
If I can come in here quickly, Mr. Makary, just quickly, let's do a roll call so we understand what you mean. Let's name the front runners in this coalition. So you tell us which of them belongs to the PPM that you describe, and what role, I don't know if there's an exco of this PPM that you describe. So let's start with Mr. Peter Obi. Is he part of the PPM that you describe?
I am not interested in dropping names.
No, you just said they are. So does that mean all of them, all but one of them, all but two of them,
I just told
or
you,
all of them?
I just told you that 85% of them. So it's left for you to go and do your own.
No, it's not left for me, Mr. Makary. You cannot drop the statistics and expect me to figure it out.
PPM
Let us know how you got to that conclusion. But go ahead, Mr. Makary.
I've just told you that 85% of them are people who belong to the PPM coalition group. And those people, once a group is a conglomeration, almost 85% gathering of people who have failed the nation. I don't know how prospective that kind of a group can actually push the agenda that they are talking about. For me, I think that it is now, it should be the task now should be left for the people of Nigeria to decide. You see, look, is it because Nigerians, these people have taken us for a ride? Maybe the docility of our people, and they continue to just, year in, year out, people will just come and gather, and they give it one sort of name. They tell you is this, they tell you is that. They're just playing like a table tennis with Nigerians back and forth. What kind of...
all right, Mr. Makary, just a moment.
Young people are just watching.
Yeah, Mr. Makary, great point you've raised. Let's take it to Mr. Tanko. Mr. Tanko, you're already in the coalition. Your principal is in the coalition. So I would expect that maybe you have some responses. He says some persons in this coalition who your principal is part of.
85%.
It's at 85%. That's a very significant number. Anything 85 is significant enough to shift the scale in that sense. So it says people that have threatened the sovereignty of a state, such as saying that if somebody tampers in an election, is going to live in body bags. You can know who that is. If you can, then the people that said they are going to form parallel government if they don't win election, and the list is on. So what do you make of his assertion that this is just opportunistic power grabbers?
Okay, I like the passion of Makary. We know each other very well. Some of us have been in the trenches for a very long time. we took that particular stand. We were in the streets. Some of us have been advocating even for a revolution in the country. But the result has been a negative one. It's because we have not been strategically motivated to put ourselves in the right place. I agree totally. So many people must have disappointed this country. And some of them equally have a lot of questions to answer. But you see, I've come to realize and reach an irreversible conclusion that you cannot be preaching something and then you expect that if you are out of that particular game, you'll be able to deliver what you are preaching. You can only be able to execute what you preach when you have power in your hands. And that is the reason why you have to be strategic. No matter how we look at it, the younger generation within the last period supporting His Excellency Peter Obi have been able to mobilize themselves, even checkmating Peter Obi himself and some of us who have been in the leadership role. And they are saying that yes, we need to gain power to be able to do what we preach. If you remain at the outside corridor of power, you will continue to agitate and continue to advocate, and that is where it stops. This is politics. It's a game of numbers. Use your idea. Collect the ideas of those, the old one who you accuse. Turn them into a new positive wine so that you can give room for the younger generations to take over. That has been a more practical and pragmatic approach, rather than us remaining from the outside and thinking that maybe we will make an inroad. How many years have we been on that particular pedestal, and the result has been a negative one? We have not been able to really do what we wanted to do. But here we are. We have an opportunity and an inroad. Many of these people too can also be able to change, just like my principal said. The reason why you have a correctional center, who is a prison, is for you to be able to change minds and reproduce new ones into a positive thinking. And what we are looking for is a leader. When you have that particular leader and you've been able to champion the right cause, then the right people or people will follow in that direction. Look, the struggle for power and position in Nigeria is about wealth creation. And he said, if you do not know how to create wealth, you cannot be able to manage it. That is also the same way that if you don't know how to create good leaders, you will not be able to transform into good governance. So in this situation, what our principal is talking about, why he's joining this alliance, and why I'm also following Q, is that we've seen people who are trying to say, look, enough is enough. Nigerians cannot continue to be in hunger. Nigerians should be secured. Their business is supposed to triumph and all. If that is the basis of our coming together, then we are championing that particular cause. It's not about that deviating and say, okay, we continue to say, Aluta, we will not agree, we will not agree. We will not agree, we will not agree, we will remain in that particular position. Let us agree so that we can change the territorial water of this country. I am saying, and we are saying collectively, yes, there are problems, but we must come together as a team to solve that particular problem. If we remain the way we are, we will not get it. So, therefore, let us look for those credible persons within those who have decided to work with us as a team. Let's rescue Nigeria. Nigeria needs to be rescued. It cannot be done outside the circle. It cannot.
All right, Mr. Makri, let me come to you now. You criticize the coalition for being made up of political power mongers. But some would say that the YPP should understand the need for the use of an SPV, knowing that your party has been used to field political ambitions in the past, after which those who succeeded defected to other political parties. And in fact, those who are flying under the your party ticket for governorship elections also defected from perhaps the ruling party just to get their political ambitions ahead. And questions could be asked also about what credible ideological opposition has your party provided to the scheme of things that would give you the right to criticize the coalition?
Okay, maybe you are getting me wrong. My criticism have a dimension where I am standing on, and I will not change from that disposition. What I said, I've been sure. I said, people have the right to assemble. I said that. within, the provisions of our Constitution. And I say, however, we need to look at the moral, people who have the moral justification to tell us about a coalition to change a government, right, or leadership. I said that. Now, when you talk about SPVs, my dear sister, even in this your Channels TV, we have had some of your colleagues who worked in Channels TV, and today they are in Arise TV. Some of them are in other, organizations. In fact, one of your colleagues is now working in Edo State. Is this Suleiman Aledi? So life is all about, they say one end marks another beginning. So I don't think there is a problem. And let me tell you, the major problem, that's why the YPP strategy is not, we're not in a hurry to produce a president, but we are in a hurry to take over the parliament. And that is why the YPP strategy is a more realistic ambition towards taking over the parliament of this country. We say we have 3 tiers of government, okay? And see, if the executive are not doing well, and we have a parliament that is working, I tell you, the country will not be in the mess we find ourselves today. So, if we cannot get the president, let's talk about the parliament. You can imagine that's why the YPP had a project. In fact, let me give you a secret, an expo. We are saying, God willing, we want to declare Project 469, taking over of the parliament. We have 406, persons in the parliament. 360, 109, 469. Okay, if we have 80% number of YPP members in the red chamber, and you have, let's say, 300 persons in the green chamber, you are already forming a government gradually. So let them go on and be fighting. Like I told you, those people there are looking for who wants to become a president. We are not in a hurry, but if God gives us that opportunity, we will form the government. Now, let me also address quickly this issue of SPV you are talking about. It is a systematic failure or systematic problem. And that is the reason why we are so concerned about going to take over the parliament so that we can address these issues. How can a situation, we are constrained? Even the Constitution itself has talked about freedom of association, freedom of participation. Now, in one of the laws, they say a person can leave a political party. They deliberately provided that clause there. That you can leave a political party, you can see what all of them cite whenever they want to leave the party. They will tell you there is a problem. You are a media person. Do your findings. Whether if YPP at the national is in crisis. But we can't take away 1 or 2 issues in the state, and some people will just, they will just take advantage of what is happening in the state, and they will tell you they have left the party. It's because there is a lacuna even in the Constitution. And if that is not well addressed, people will continue to move. Political jumpology is necessary. And you cannot do away with it except if we address that issue in our Constitution.
So, Makary, I wonder how many lawmakers you have left in the YPP. One just defected just a few days ago. But about the comparison you were making, I think it's a false equivalence, almost like comparing apples with puff-puff, not even oranges this time around.
No, it's not a false equivalence.
It's a false equivalence because politics, being voted, just a second, Mr. Makary, allow me land, please. In politics, you are elected into office on a mandate, okay? So you join the YPP, and then you're elected as a candidate of the YPP. In fact, it is said that people elect the party, not the candidate. In terms of broadcasting, an individual who is not standing on any mandate or falling on any mandate chooses to go to a place to work, chooses to leave and go to another place. So it's not politics. This is personal. Politics is different. So that's why I say it's a false equivalence. But I understand you wanted to make that point. But you can answer the question about how many lawmakers you have left in the YPP, because I need to ask Mr. Tanko the question, actually. Or another question, rather.
How many lawmakers?
Yes.
We have, as far as I'm concerned, in our record, nobody has left YPP.
Okay.
Constitutionally.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Yunusa Tanko. I know this is a debate that can go on and on, but I get your point. Mr. Tanko, I need you to speak to this point, because now the ruling party, the presidency, is capitalizing on the statement Mr. Peter Obi made in 2022 about the structure of criminality, dismantling the structure of criminality. And they're saying that now Mr. Peter Obi is joining that so-called structure of criminality with the people in the coalition. So I want you to speak to those personalities and be frank, because Nigerians are listening and they've heard what has been said in the past. Mr. El Rufai, for example, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, and Mr. Rotimi Amechi, and the rest. How is Mr. Peter Obi comfortable with working with these people whom a lot of people, or he has even described, as a part of that structure of criminality?
Now, when you look at it, we are running a constitutional democratic nation, which is based on law and order. We have been able to make a lot of assertion as regard to Mr. President's credentials of becoming a president in the first place. But it's still ruling us because we have not been able to convict him on that particular position. And then the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria said that until when you are convicted, and you have records to prove that particular position, then you can be called a particular name. But that doesn't stop people from calling them names and all. So also is the people that you associate yourself with in this situation, as those who are involved in the coalition. Many of them must have had issues in the court of law, but none of them have probably been convicted, because if they are convicted, majority of them will have been in jail. But we are saying right now that we understand there have been challenges within the system, and individuals too have been accused of one thing or the other. You can see even my principal yesterday, when he was speaking to Sheung, was able to speak to the issue of accusation being mentored on him and Pandora box and all of those. But he said it very clearly, go and investigate. You have not been able to prove anything with unreasonable doubt. So everybody stands to be accused until when you are being convicted. So at this point in time, we are being strategic and politically carefulness being put in place to ensure that those who believe that Nigerians need to be saved from the shackles of poverty as a cardinal point, which this particular government has perpetually and deliberately put Nigerians into. We are saying that all of these people who are ready to dismantle this particular accession of government, who have failed abysmally to protect the interests of the Nigerian people, should, of course, held to be accountable for all of the things that they have done. So His Excellency's words have not been eroded in any way. All he's saying is that let's get Nigerians out of poverty, which we have the fundamental right to do. So there is no ambiguity in that. They are only trying to run away from the abysmal and faulty leadership that they put on Nigerian people.
All right, Dr. Yunusa, thank you very much. We must anchor at this point in time. Clearly, this is continuing, and Nigerians will continue to sieve through, all of the submissions of the key actors in the coalition. We've been talking with Dr. Yunusa Tanko, who is the National Coordinator, Obedient Movement Worldwide, who joined us from our Kano studio. And we've also had on this segment Mr. Bishop Amakiri, the YPP National Chairman, who joined us from our Abuja studio. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time on the program.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless Nigeria.
Amen to that. And we're not quite done with the coalition talks yet. We'll be joined very, very soon by the Chairman BOT, a member of the Board of Trustees, rather, of the ADC. So join us for this next conversation right after this time out. Stay with us.